Hey Libra, welcome to your weekly forecast for December 12th through the 19th. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for December 12th through 19th. We do have a full moon in Gemini coming up on the 19th. So as we get closer to that full moon energy, you may be feeling it. Sometimes full moon energy can kick things up, get things going, stir up emotions. So we'll see how this energy might be affecting the Libra collective, as well as any other messages that Spirit has for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the Libra collective. I feel like we need... Yeah, that feels good. I was going to say one more shuffle. That feels good. I don't have a set number of times I shuffle. I just shuffle till I feel like this is it. These are the cards. So we're going to connect and see what's coming up. First card coming up here is the Justice card. This is a major arcana card, and it is you. Welcome to the party, Libra. This is your card. This is a pretty big deal for me in my readings. When I'm reading for somebody and their major arcana card comes up, it's telling me that the situation that you're dealing with right now is directly linked to you coming into your power. Okay? So if you are a Libra rising, this could have a lot to do in terms of like what you feel you're meant to do in the world. If you're a Libra sun sign, this could be in terms of like taking back your power in terms of like your identity and, how you're putting yourself out there. If you're a Libra moon sign, this could be you taking back your power in terms of your emotions and feelings and relationships. But when I see your major arcana card come up, to me, it's like you're coming into your authenticity and you're taking back your power, right? You're going to be living your life unapologetically as who you are, and you're going to be doing what is best for you. And you're shaking off any conditioning, any programming. We're all kind of told in our life that we're too much this way or not enough that way, or we should do this or we should do that. And a lot of you are breaking out of it. Some of you have been working a career or a job for a really long time that you were forced into. Maybe your parents really pressured you to go into a certain field, or maybe your parents pressured you to go into like what your family does, or like what runs in your family, right? Like, all the generations before you worked this job or this career. So some of you might be making a career change. This is not going to be for every single one of you, but I do feel for some of you, your authenticity also includes the kind of work that you're doing. You may be in a field that's completely and totally going against your nature. Again, authenticity, shaking off conditioning, programming. The things that you thought were flaws about yourself, you're actually starting to see these are strengths when applied productively. And so you're like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. It's like you're realizing I'm not the problem here. I'm not the problem. I'm just trying to make myself fit into a spot that is not meant for me, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to do what is meant for me. That's what I see a lot of the times when your major arcana card comes up. Okay, Justice card also has to do with balancing your head and your heart. Libra, you guys have a reputation of being indecisive, but you're not indecisive. You just think about all of the aspects of a situation before you make a decision. Okay, you're going to think about every single angle. My mom is a Libra, and sometimes I make fun of her about it, and she laughs because like she will analyze every little detail, every little thing before she makes her decision, because she wants to make sure that she's making the right decision, that she's being fair, that, it's going to be fair for everybody involved. And so Libras, you guys, the Libras I know have been that way. You don't make impulsive decisions. You think of everything very carefully and very cautiously. And so some of you feel a little frustrated right now in your decision-making process, because you feel like when you listen to your head, you're very unhappy, you're very unfulfilled. But when you listen to your heart, you get burned. You end up regretting it. And now that you're coming into this authenticity, you may feel a little bit torn. Like, am I getting too carried away? Am I being too optimistic? Am I fooling myself here and feeling like I could go on this path or go in this way? And so the Justice card reminds you that it's not about choosing one or the other. It's not picking between your logic, your brain, and your heart. It's not picking logic over heart or heart over logic. It's about bringing the two together. You're going to listen to your heart, but you're going to ask yourself, how can I go about doing this in a way that is going to be successful? How can I pursue this desire or this hope or this process in a way where I'm going to be successful? What are some steps that I can take? So this is what's happening. This is what you're going to be having to look at, is how can I do this? How can I accomplish this? But how can I do this in a way that's going to be productive and that's going to set me up for success, instead of being like the Fool card where you're just jumping in head first, right? If you bring these two things together, you're going to find that you're going to be able to have success and not feel unfulfilled or not feel like you rushed in and got burned. So it's about bringing these into balance. All right, guys, I apologize for the background noise. I've rescued a horse-sized dog, and it's very glued to me. Okay, it's not going anywhere, so we might have to get used to some background noise in the videos. So as I said, coming into here, the decision-making process, right? You're no longer going to feel like you're losing either way, right? Sometimes you're like, oh God, no matter what I do, I get the short end of the stick. You're breaking out of that cycle. The next card that's coming up here is the Judgment card. Ooh, now we have Major Arcana cards coming in back to back. When Major Arcana cards come in back to back for me, it's big changes in a very short period of time. And it's breaking out of karmic cycles, patterns, and contracts that no longer serve you. Okay, breaking old agreements that no longer serve you. And so here with the Judgment card, some of you might feel as though you're answering a calling, right? As I said, especially if you're a Libra rising, this can be where you're feeling pulled in like a certain direction, like this is what I'm meant to do, or this is how I'm supposed to help people. Other ones of you Libras, you might be really looking at your self-image. How am I coming across? How am I putting myself out there in the world? Is it really accurate of how I want to be seen? How I want to be known? You know, is it authentic as to who I am? Or am I giving people unintentionally a false impression? And sometimes that false impression could be where we just want to play it cool and we don't want to rock the boat. So people might think we're a pushover, but we're not a pushover. They have no idea, right? So it could be even in that way. I feel like with the Judgment card, you're making big decisions. Now, sometimes the Judgment card can come up for me between two people, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be a friendship. It could be a family member, where there might be somebody that you've been trying to be there for them, and you might feel and you might sense that, oh, this person is not quite awake yet, right? Like, I have compassion for this person. I have sympathy for this person. I want to try to help them. I want to try to help them heal. I want to bring them up to my vibration. And you're trying to hold space for this person. But the Judgment card tells me that this is someone that's going to pull you down to their level. You're trying to lift them up higher. They're going to pull you down lower. I do see it come up sometimes when there's that kind of a situation. So some of you might be setting boundaries with a person that, like, look, I can't be rescuing you anymore. And maybe you're not going to use that wording with them. Maybe you might be a little bit more diplomatic or a little bit, like, you know, kind of softer in how you deliver the message. But some of you might be setting boundaries with a person where you're like, it can't be this way anymore. It's not going to happen this way anymore. Some of you have a really big decision about pursuing legal action against somebody, a person or a company or a business, where you're trying to think, should I uphold my rights? Should I uphold my rights? And for some of you, I feel like it's holding somebody accountable for a way in which you've been wronged or violated. So there might even be, even though I know a lot of people say that the Justice card is about civil litigation, there may be a criminal aspect here for some of you. like where you're wanting somebody to be punished for something that they did. They wronged you in some way. They did something that is not acceptable and is also against the law. And you might be like saying, you know what, that person deserves to be in jail. And everybody's telling you, oh, no, Libra, that's sad. Don't do that. You know, maybe for some of you, it's family. And you're like, no, that person deserves to be in jail. I want to take this up into, like, being prosecuted. I want to see what my rights are. I want to figure out if it's within the statute of limitations. You might be going and talking to a lawyer and preparing to take action against somebody. That being said, do not schedule a private reading with me and say, can I sue this person? Or will this person go to jail? Or what will the outcome be of this case? I don't do court case readings. I'm not going to predict the outcome of a case. And I'm not going to get into any legal stuff. But traditionally speaking, the Justice card can indicate here going to the court. And the Judgment card to me feels like a decision about something karmic that you're dealing with coming together, like standing up for yourself. And some of you Libras might be having that experience. The next card that's coming up for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising is the Ten of Cups. And Ten of Cups is happiness. It's fulfillment and contentment in every area of your life, right? It's inner peace. Now, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings for love and romance. So people see Ten of Cups and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get married and have babies. And that can definitely be happening for some of you. Some of you may be making a stand and making decisions that are allowing you to make that a priority, or that are allowing you to have that kind of happily ever after in your life. Or you're cutting out the riffraff and you're focusing on your current family, your current children, your current spouse, right? You're removing any negative influences. That can definitely be the case for some of you. But not every single person's happily ever after is marriage and babies. Not everybody is looking for that or in that stage of their life. So Ten of Cups is not only marriage and babies. It's just whatever your happiness is, whatever your inner peace is, whatever your bliss is. And this is going to be especially true, Libra, if you feel like it's just never been, I don't know if I want to say fair, but you might feel like no matter what I do, some area of my life has to suffer. If money is good, then my personal life is terrible. If my personal life is great, then my family life suffers. Whatever it might be, you might feel like no matter what you do, you can't have happiness in everything. And Ten of Cups is saying, guess again, you sure can. You sure can have happiness in everything. You sure can have happiness in all areas of your life. And so I feel that this is like coming into the life that is fulfilling for you, connecting here to this whole thing of authenticity that came up in the beginning. You're coming into your authenticity, you're setting your boundaries, and you're having your Ten of Cups. You're having your fulfillment, as easy as that, right? Maybe easier said than done because we have to stand up for ourselves. But once we do, right, we're opening the door here and making the space here to have this happiness in every area of our life. I also feel here with the Ten of Cups that some of you may be coming into very nurturing energy, and you're feeling like this is what was missing in your life. So maybe you might be deciding to have a child or adopt a child, or maybe you're deciding to rescue an animal from the shelter, or go and buy a puppy or something. I feel like a lot of you are like, wow, I didn't realize I needed something to take care of. It's like you're finding happiness in having this nurturing outlet, right? Where you get to be mommy or daddy to a child or an animal, or, you just kind of feel like you're getting to have this experience to love something and take care of something. And you're like, wow, I didn't realize I needed that, but I needed that. For some of you, like, that's the missing thing. That's the missing thing. Some of you are doing that and you're like, oh, I don't want a relationship. I just wanted to adopt a kid, or I just wanted to, have a companion, animal companion or something, right? Like, I don't need a relationship, or I don't really care about, moving now. Like all of a sudden now I'm happy where I'm at. I don't feel like anything is missing. For some of you, that nurturing outlet is the missing piece. Not all of you, but for some of you. The next card that's coming up here is the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords comes up for me a lot of the times as a warning. Traditionally speaking, the Two of Swords can be where we're at some kind of an impasse. There's something that we're wanting to do, but we're scared to take steps, or we're procrastinating, we're stalling, or other people don't agree or don't want to let us go or don't want to let us do what we want to do, and we may kind of feel like on the fence about actually taking the steps. The Two of Swords for me is a warning. The Two of Swords is like, look, if you're not reading the writing on the wall, and if you're not taking the steps you're being guided to take, there will be a tower moment. Now, you can avoid the chaos and you could avoid the stress if you just take the steps you're being guided to take. Some of you are making sacrifices because you feel bad for somebody else. You're like, well, I feel bad for this person. I don't want to let them down. I don't want to disappoint them. You might have the tower moment for you to liberate you from this. Might be a truth being revealed that this person never had your back. This person's not been loyal to you. This person's been doing things behind your back that they promised you they would stop doing. Or this person's been gossiping. Or this person's been acting like they need your help and they need, like, you know, they need your pity. Meanwhile, you're bending over backwards to help them, and you find out that they have a bunch of other people that are helping them and giving them stuff and being supportive. You know, maybe some of you are making financial sacrifices for someone and you're finding out they have a ton of money in the bank. And you're like, here I am, you know, scraping together my nickels and pennies and making financial sacrifices because I want to be here for this person. And they're sitting on a big old pile of money like Scrooge McDuck, you know. So for some of you, that tower moment will be a truth being revealed about a person or situation that you've been feeling sympathy for. Like, well, this is what I want to do, but I'm not going to do it because I feel bad about this person or this situation. Two of Swords for me says, look, if you don't stop procrastinating and if you don't start taking the steps, there's going to be a tower moment. That's just been my experience over the years pulling cards for myself. And I've seen it happen with my regular clients, people that come to me for readings very frequently. I've seen it happen for them as well. Two of Swords can also be that there's something that is being kept from us. Like we're not being told the full truth of a situation. And for some of you, that, like, I'm going to just say this. Some of you might be pursuing something in court because you know the truth of a situation. You want somebody to be held accountable. But I feel that for those of you that are, it's like you have no idea. Like that is the very tip of the iceberg. You have no idea how deep it goes and you have no idea how big it gets. And so I feel for some of you, the Two of Swords is like you're going to have to buckle your seatbelt because you're onto something and you're about to uncover something that you didn't see coming. And that might be the very tower moment right there, because the tower moment is like when life is never going to be the same again. It could be paradigm shift and it connected to awakening. All of a sudden our eyes are open and we've seen the truth. So some of you are going on this quest for justice and you might be holding someone accountable and you're like, holy moly, I didn't know that all this was going to come out. I didn't know that the people in my life knew as much as they actually knew. Or I didn't know that other people in the community knew as much as they actually knew. I didn't know that this person had been going around and doing this for so long. I'm not the only person. I just seem to be the only person that's standing up and saying, this should never have happened. This isn't okay. So some of you are standing up for something and then you're like, wow, I didn't realize how deep this goes. That's the Two of Swords for some of you. You may want to check out your moon, sun, and rising sign videos. Some weeks are going to resonate with you more than your sun sign. I don't know why I said fire sign. Maybe some of you are dealing with a fire sign or holding a fire sign accountable. Wow, that was interesting. Go ahead and check out your moon, sun, and rising sign. Some weeks are going to resonate more than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. 12-month forecasts for 2020 are linked in the description of the video. I'm halfway through the zodiac circle. I'll get the other half up in the next few days. I am offering private 12-month forecasts on the Calendly page for those of you that want to schedule that, as well as the other readings that I usually offer. Love and romance readings for December are linked in the description as well. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful week, my dears. Take care.